Thank you for staying with us. And now we switch to the matter that bites everyone where it hurts. And there is not, she's trying to hold herself in. Yeah, minimum wage. That conversation started some time back and eventually was signed. The leadership of organized labor in Nigeria, comprising the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, given the federal government 2 weeks to implement the new minimum wage of 30,000 naira or risk a nationwide industrial action. Labour leaders accuse the government negotiating team of complacency. They demand a negotiation meeting before October 16, as they say they can no longer guarantee industrial harmony after that deadline. This matter of the minimum wage, Alero, it's been on and on and on, and then just before the elections it was signed and everybody was like,
finally.
Finally. But now...
But they're not paying even though they signed it off.
Okay, hold on.
And then we're getting threats from government. If we have to pay 30,000, we have to fire people.
But they signed off on it before they Okay, sorry. Oh, hold on. So help us understand and discuss this whole matter. We have Remi Dairo, President, Institute of Productivity and Business Innovation Management. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
Also here is a financial development expert, Ayodeji Onibogi. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure being here.
Let me start with you, Mr. Onibogi. That the conversation that led to the final signing of the minimum wage. What do you think of that culminated in the law, the new minimum wage, and now this fallout?
This is a country whereby we love, if there is a word called staccato-ism, we go one way, we go the other way. What has been signed into law is firm. What has been signed by the president, not by Ayo. He has been signed into law. So we need to, either we need to go and borrow money, beg for, because the truth is, let's look at this. The people that run the economy are the workers. When I say the workers, if you look at where does Nigeria make money from, we make it from our ministries. We make it from the likes of ports, aviation, because they are part of the ministries, either Ministry of Aviation. And then you now discover that this is a country whereby monkey they walk, baboon they chop. People are working. They cannot, their salary cannot take them home. Their take home cannot take them home. And there are people that they will sit down for mere few hours in a day, and a few days in a month, and they will take billions of naira. It's not fair. So I believe the 30,000 per head as a minimum is even too is ridiculous. What was 30,000 naira in dollars? So let's call a spade a spade. I believe we need to get a way to fund that.
Okay. Labour was invited for this conversation. A member of the Trade Union Congress, we're still expecting him to come in. Mr. Dairo, in terms of productivity and business management, do you think that figure was a way to go? Especially also when we have these conversations that have gone on and on and on about cutting the cost of governance.
So globally, if you have to look at, because we are operating in the global world now. If you have to look at what other countries are doing in their minimum wage, Nigeria is far, away from that. In the US, at least the minimum is in a month is 1,100. In the UK, bringing it back to dollar now, it's going to be 1,900 minimum in dollars, right? Then in Canada, it's 1,700 minimum. That is for the cleaners. We went to minimum wage for the cleaners, the security.
And
the
if guards, you convert 1,000, that's about 350,000.
And in Nigeria, it is $83 in a month, which is $4 in a day. That is. I don't want to say something else on the. I mean, it's bad, comparing, because you can't say no. We are in Nigeria. Leave it out. No, we are in the world. We are competing.
We can say the cost of living is lower here.
So no, because things are really changing, and we are part of the world. So if you are talking about development, talking about comparing ourselves, we are doing well. We have to look at the global scale of things. So back home now, for an average worker, that is not even enough. So let's say that if you break that down in naira, 30,000 in 24 in 20 there about this, you know how much that's be in a day. That is not good enough. But there are questions that there are things that the government is also talking about. They're talking about the money we have now. Can we use all that to pay? Just like I said, it's law. You have to pay. Now the government is saying we have been borrowing to do stuff. How do we need, just like you said, do we need to go and borrow to pay? And I tell you, if we continue to borrow to pay for the current issues in Nigeria, I don't know how far we can go. So anytime you are spending so much as a country, and then the production capacity of a nation is not bringing it enough resources, then we are going on a
But let's see this matter, Mr. Nibogi, back to you here. We have governments come and go, but the civil service stays. So they are the ones who are, as they say, the engine room of government.
They run the government.
Okay, so someone posted something one time about a group of people who are budgeting some billions for vehicles, and the person said the university system is getting just about 6-point-something billion for a whole year. Meanwhile, these guys are using this for money. So if we want to swing this and reduce the cost of governance without retrenching anybody, since the federal government is saying they might need to retrench to do this payment, can that be done? Do we need to go back to the laws again?
Let's get back to the roots. Why did you employ those we don't need? What they are telling you, for you to say you want to retrench or sack some people, that means you have more than enough. That's what it means. What led to this? When you are recruiting, do they put into perspective the functionality of people? That's one. Two, yes, you employ them. It is better you manage them till a particular year before you tell them to say you have opportunity to go willingly. It's even better that way. Probably after a while they can now have nouns. If you are ready to leave, this will be a stipend for you. Because if you look at it this way, they've been employed. And there's a labor law. You cannot just fire them. Because if you fire them, then there will be various court cases. That's one. Two, the way it is, if we need to borrow, let's borrow. I said something while we were on the air. In 2018, one of the senators, Shehu Sani, made some revelations. And from the revelation, if a senator gets about 13.5 million by the side, apart from their normal allowance of about 700,000, that goes about 14.5 million every month. 14.5 million, if you divide it by just 30,000 or 50,000, that means they can cater for over 450 people. That means for each senator, part of what it takes home every month, that can give the minimum wage to 450 people in his community. Let's start from there. Because the truth is, it is a country whereby we spend a lot of money on few people, and we spend, in short, fraction of nothing on a lot of people.
But one of the senators is also suggesting that the numbers should reduce. So one senator per state instead of 3, and then
but
three.
But the ones that we have now, you cannot say they should go home. So if you want to do that, that will be in the next dispensation. And that is if they have agreed and there is a law that binds it. Because
the constitution will have to now...
It's a constitution.
Can they look at their own remuneration, allowances and all of that and adjust the law so that the Revenue Allocation and Mobilization Commission can also bring it down?
Yeah.
Do you think they can do that?
You know something? Let's get it right. With all sense of, with due respect to everybody, we have a senator in this country that was always telling us about you've gotten this, you've gotten that, and this is this. And I discovered that the same senator never for one day returned his own 85 million of 13.5 million they were giving every month. So that means people are not really sincere in this country. There's a senator that we all know that will tell you that this and this is what, something is rubbish, something is jargon. But the month salary they have been paying him, he never for one day returned it. So this is a country whereby if you tell the senators to please approve or to make the law that they should read their salary, they will not. And if they can, let them try it. I know they will not, if they are hearing me. So this is a country
we all
with
know
no
that is not the place to start because they're not going to
They are
do
not
it.
going to do that.
But even if government decides to sack people, or
They should not
retrench,
sack.
or whatever the word is that they want to use, they have to pay them off.
It will be
I think
enormous.
that there are other
And some of
issues.
them they have to pay for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
So either way,
Without
we
sacking.
are in a tight
Without sacking, there are ghost workers.
I don't
There are
believe
people-
that, sir.
yeah, there
do
are-
you know why? Because of the TSA, there are no. If there are
Some
be ghost
state
workers.
governments have done that, and they've discovered in Kogi over 3,000 ghost workers were discovered.
That's before TSA. Once there is TSA,
So
you cannot get these
I
ghost
think
workers.
we need to go deeper and say, okay, how many people are really working? So if you reduce, if you can have the actual number, if the labor can work on that, and say, okay, we have come with the list. This is people that are working, that are real human beings. Then the government can say, okay, now let's just suppose and look at how much we can pay for this. Now, if you sack, it's not also good for the economy, because we're going to have more unemployed people that will join that that gap of unemployed people already in the gap. So what we need to do is to say, what can we do what we have? We need to increase our production capacity. Revenue must go up. We are spending so much.
When you say production capacity, revenue must go up. Is it taxes?
So different.
How do we improve the production capacity so that this minimum wage thing can? Because someone's tweeting here, says 30,000 naira minimum is not the problem. It's a consequential adjustment that the problem. Labour should understand times and seasons. Public servants' pay was frozen for almost 10 years in UK because of austerity. So how do we improve revenue without taxing the same people who are not getting the minimum wage?
Okay, so number one is to say, what exactly do this country have? This country does not have a direction apart from oil. We are just having lip stock on, okay, outside oil. Outside oil now they are moving to tax, and which is taxing the people that don't even have enough. So we need to come and examine this country and say, what are the things each state has? Now, we are not even talking about states paying. This is federal government. Do the state have the capacity to even pay? Do you know that last time it was the federal government that gave the state, that borrowed them money to be able to pay? That was the last crisis, the bailout. I'm not sure they've already even returned the money back. That were issued here and there. Now, 30,000. How many states have the capacity to do that?
Remi, let me just digress a little bit.
Okay.
You're talking about the states not being able to pay. For years now, we have been screaming about very soon there will no longer be money in Abuja to share. The states have to wake up and make their own money somehow. What signs have you seen in any of the states, apart from
the sharing?
What signs have you seen that they're making efforts to actually generate funds, increase their IGR?
I get you. Nigeria is so blessed. Every state has something. But you know what? Because of the sharing formula in Abuja, everybody abandon what they have. They run to Abuja every month to go and share. So each state must generate their own capacity to generate their revenue. I thank God for some of the states, Anambra, some other few states that are now producing rice, Abakaliki rice and all that. At their level, they are now investing money to say, what can we do in this state now? Now the question is, Lagos State is also trying, but I'm sure there's a lot of borrowing too in Lagos. And there's a lot of financial crisis too going on with the government and all that, trying to manage things up, but there are also taxes coming in. But you see, there are states that have tourist capacity. What is in Dubai? It's just a concept of an idea that, okay, if people come in here, they must spend at least $15,000 or $15. I don't know how that is in the vision. So what can we do that will bring people in here? Then they started to, bring in money. Now they borrowed money too. Dubai also borrowed money. US borrowed money. I checked last night. China, government also borrowed money. But when they borrow money, they put it where it will yield more money for them to pay back their debt, and then to take care of their people, and then make sure that other people from another country come to them, borrow money, or drop money or somehow, so they can attract that global fund. But Nigeria, we keep borrowing. We have over 24 trillion naira borrowed by now. Just like I said, if you have to go and borrow more to pay, salary, then maybe we'll be looking at 30 trillion.
Wouldn't it be madness? I mean, to be borrowing to eat.
That is it. So what are we generating? So the productivity of an average Nigerian is dead. I'm using the word dead because you want to be productive, you want to start a business, the level of working in Nigeria, you know how hard it is to even make earning. Then you're also working. There's no fuel. You're your own local government. You have to prepare. Your own road. You have to your own water. Your own everything. Power. So to be productive in Nigeria is hard. It can be very crazy. Now I did a course in one of the universities, federal universities here in Nigeria. I was trying to do a program there. Then they took light, they took power, and then the lecturer said, "I better bring out your phone and then use the touch. On your phone." And then we were writing as if it was a normal thing. In Nigeria, we can adapt, and then we are writing exam in that kind of. Because they don't mind them, they will soon bring it. Is that a life? And that was a high level. It was not a first degree.
Mr. Nibogi,
so you can understand what I'm talking
about. The adaptability of Nigerians a problem? The fact that Nigerians tend to adapt to any situation, is that a problem?
Sometimes when we talk as Nigerians, I look at it that I pity this country. And I will tell you why. When it favors us, we talk as if, when it favors us, we compare ourselves to America. When we want to do anything, we say, this is the latest car in America, we have it. But the latest discipline in America, do we, when I say do we as a people, at the federal level, at the state level, at local level, at personal level, do we imbibe it? I tell you, if you get to the train station at 5:30, if there is a train that's supposed to pass a particular route in England, the train must, it's not that it will come, must come. But in Nigeria, we all have one attitude. And when I say we, including myself, don't worry. Because of what? There is no consequence management. And that's what's leading us to where we are. I still tell you, this is a country whereby even at federal level, state level, they're supposed to start the program by 10. By 11, they are still waiting for the dignitary. Because of what? We have been, from when we were childhood, to imbibe what I call rubbish. In advanced country, if you are supposed to drive a train, if you need to go and sleep at the train station, you will sleep there. Because you know the meaning of not getting to the train station at the right time to pick the train and pick people. That's what they call the ripple effect. Once this is not done, this will never be done. And that will never be done. And let's look at the consequence management. The problem in this country, we have been saying something about productivity. What is productivity? Do I even know why I was employed? A lot of people that goes to most... Yes, I point to you. A lot of people that are employed at the ministries, they don't know why they are employed. They were just employed because they were a member of PDP. When they got there, their brother was the PDP governor. He brought them there. So you cannot sack them now because they are now in level 14. But mind you, let's look at it. I've gone to work today. What was my input? One, I've gone to work today. Assuming I'm the MD, the owner of this company, do I justify to be paid? I'm very sure that a lot of people, when they ask those questions, they cannot answer it.
The other side of KPIs, key performance indices, is it applicable in the civil service system of our country? So that we're looking at productivity now, because we're talking about how productive is the Nigerian worker. We've not looked at how productive the Nigerian politician. We'll be back in a moment. Please join us again. Welcome. We're talking about the minimum wage debate. Labour is threatening a nationwide industrial action unless there is negotiation by October the 16th. The effectiveness of all of this is what we're looking at here, gentlemen. So that question we asked about KPIs. In our civil service, are they KPIs? I mean, I've never been a civil servant, so I wouldn't know. But I do know that in the private sector, you have key performance indices. There are things you must deliver on a daily basis, and you deliver them at a certain time. There's an appraisal that goes on to know whether you delivered on your targets. And the target's not like you're going to bring in capital. No, the things you're supposed to do in the office. Do these things apply in the civil service?
Yeah, on paper, maybe in theory, you see that there's a KPI, you need to do this, you need to do. But you ask question, the question is, do they even know what they need to do? Is there a clear picture of what to be done in the month? So they write a proposal for the budget, for their for their ministry of Prastata to get their part of the budget, and everybody's waiting. We're not doing anything because I have done a lot of stuff with this. We're not doing anything. The budget has not come. That means all KPI dead until our budget is approved, so to say. Then the budget is here. What do we do? This money must not go. This money must quickly go.
We must spend it.
We must spend it. As well.
Before the end of the year.
It must not go back to the government.
Yeah.
So the KPI starts from when the money lands. And sometimes when you ask an average civil servant, say, okay, when you come in the morning, I've been to Abuja, Secretariat, I've been to Lagos, I don't want to mention other places I've been. And when you get in there, they tell you, we just resumed, just 9 o'clock, 10. They have tea. And by that time, they're already warming up. So by 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, there's work there. They say, okay, there's break. Oh, quickly come now. Let's attend to you. So by 2 o'clock, thereabout, 1:30, 2 o'clock, we are going for break. And that break is 1 hour, somehow, or 45 minutes. Now, technically, or on paper, it might not be like that. But in the practical sense, 1 hour. Then by the time they come back, that's what we need to do. 4 o'clock, we need to get the bus. Going to Nyanya, going to Maraba. Oh, we need to go. We are going. Where's the come tomorrow? We are going. The bus is moving. Before you know, they all enter the bus by 4 o'clock because they need to get. Because if they don't do that, they have to spend more money. And before you know, where's the KPI? KPI what? Because in private sector, if you need to stay there till 9, you stay and get the work done. So in the public sector, these are the issues. Are we really productive in the public sector? So these are the issues I wanted to ask the labor. You know what the word labor means? Labor means, for women, you know what, when you are laboring. Now, in the actual word of labor, is the labor really laboring, so to say? That is, you're going through pain. You are really putting in pressure to give birth to a baby. Is there a baby that labor wants to give birth to? So those are the issues.
Mr. Nibogi, way forward.
Well, for this, we'll still say let's appeal to labor, because as a country, I would not want the country to be shut down, because we're going to waste a lot of money and lose revenue if the country is shut down come 16th. But what I will say is, let the government be fair to the citizens and let them be fair to their workers, because I said something, the monkey cannot be walking and let the baboon be eating. They have worked, at least they are still under the employment, so they need to be paid. And if something has been signed to law, just like as their own salaries have been signed to law, and nobody is touching it, let them go and look for anyhow and pay this.
Remi, Sam tweets, in other climes, the highest paid workers are those in private business, education, and health sectors. It's only a healthy and educated worker that can enhance productivity. Sadly, in Nigeria, we pay the politicians most of our monies.
This is a big issue.
Now, all the money.
If you are not, if you are not one of the positions is, if you are not sacking the workers, then we should reduce the cost of governance. We are spending so much.
More than 10 years.
We need to legislate this.
We need to legislate but nobody is listening.
They have to listen,
because the ones who are to reduce are the ones benefiting from it. So how are we going? What do you expect us to do?
So the issue of Nigeria is 360. You touch it here, it touches here. You touch it there, it touches there. So it's all over now. So if we are not sacking the workers, we need to reduce cost of governance. We have the National Assembly. You know how much goes to National Assembly in budget? You know how much labor is asking for? Nothing. And then we have the federal government. The federal government itself, we have the PA, SA, we have the PA to the SA, SSA, and they are all on salary. We have a community funding or projects, and all this money doesn't go to any community or any project. Probably when you go to their state, you see one mushroom bridge in billion or borehole. Talking about water in 2019, talking about light 2019. I was walking somewhere around yesterday, and the children said, "Up NEPA." I said, "Up NEPA." Do you know what NEPA is? There's not even no more NEPA. There was shouting up NEPA that I shouted when I was young.
Mr. Nibogi,
at this time,
yes.
Nicholas Duru says, of what importance can the contributory pension fund, the current VAT collected, the SWF and foreign reserve be to the financial stability of the country if properly deployed? Is there any way this
pension
funds can help?
Yes, they can help. But this is not the first time that, at least the PFA, PFCs, they've been around for over almost 15, 16 years now. But we are still in the same country when someone by the name Meina embezzled or squandered money. Are people really...
Allegedly, please.
Alleged. Wait. Are people really confident about all these funds?
He's recently been arrested again.
You understand? Are people really confident about these funds? No. And the truth is, by the constitution, the acts that created the PFAs, they have funds, they have percentages of what they can use the funds to do. Because the people that have contributed these funds, when they need the money, they must be in liquid form. There's a percentage that must be in liquid. So when they need, they must be paid. There's a percentage that you can go to projects, that can go into bonds, that can go into various investment opportunity. But are people really even sincere and comfortable with the PFAs and the arrangements? No. Then, what are the other things you mentioned? You will discover that as a people, the people are losing interest in a lot of things that you will see them to be very good, but because it has been... some people, they've taken advantage of those things.
Taxes. No I mean, there was a time, you were the one that told the story of the Okada man that was asking for where he can go and pay his tax.
That's right.
People,
Lagos State, when DRF was governor.
Let's look at it this way. I said something. I said, if we have what I call the basics, Nigeria will be willing to pay. Just like everybody know that the cost of making phone calls has been reduced. As a young man, I knew then, if my uncle wanted to call from America, my mother will have to go and sleep because we never had those big phones. You never go and sleep with another family that has those phones then. But now, at the comfort of your home, you can speak to America, London, at any time. So people are ready and willing to pay. So if the government can make the cost of operation to be easy, people are willing to pay taxes and everything, what not. But you have said something that is very key. This is a country whereby we put a square peg in a round hole. We don't do what is just at the right time. Okay. We collect money and don't do it.
My final word is the government must know that if they are spending much more on capital project and they forget the people that will use the capital, then there's a problem. You build the bridges, you build the roads, and then the human beings are tired, they are hungry, and they are dying. What are we building for? So there must be balance between the current and the capital project. Then that people must be first. So the productivity of the people that now generate to the national productivity that we're talking about is very key.
Thank you very much. Remi Dairo is the President, Institute of Productivity and Business Innovation Management, and Ayodeji Onigbogi, who is a financial development expert. Thank you, gentlemen.